All right, we are back again and finished filling that up over there. Finished this, and that, and we actually did a little bit around the corner there. I'll show you that in just a second, but going to let this harden up just a little bit, and then we will do over the whole floor. So let's take a look right over here. This one right here wasn't too awful bad. It was actually a little bit high right there. So put my straight edge over this, and there was just a little bit there. So I thought I actually came back to here. Even on the tile a little bit, it was down. So just did that right there. Kind of tapered it around the corner a little bit, both sides, and we'll let that dry, and then we will be able to go over the whole floor. All right, we got everything marked out now, dried and swept and vacuumed and all that stuff, enough to do our build up now. So you can see right there, this section from here to there needs to be built up significantly right there. Same all the way down right through here, and then it levels out about right here. The rest of this is all good here. So build that up a little bit right there. We're going to carry that on all the way to the wall back there. This here is all good in between these two. So the high spots, getting rid of these high spots, corrected all this. We do, however, have another low spot right up through here. You can see my squiggly lines. It's that area on those right there, and then it widens out because that's where it starts to sag a little higher. The floor is solid, it's just not flat. So once we get those filled, the right thickness, the right height, flatness, whatever you want to call it, then I will go over all the grout lines with the trowel. So get this stuff built up level first, then we're going to go over the whole floor. And to make sure that it is level, once I get my mud down there and I feel like it's good, I'll take my straight edge, I'll lay it down on here, and just like you do concrete work, I'll go back and forth and work my straight edge over, and anywhere I leave marks in the mud and the depth of the marks in the mud, that's what needs to come down, and I'll work it down with my trowel, and then I'll check it again, and that should do it. Okay. So let's take a look now. Look, that actually looks pretty good. It's still just a bit. I can rework that. This is just to see what's happening right there. See that? And that is how I can get this level. Flat, rather. Okay, we can see all the ridges, and then you see the smooth in the center where it did not touch, and then the ridges is where it did touch. So you can see exactly what I need to do here. That's smooth, it needs to come up just a wee bit. The center needs to come up just a wee bit, and then that needs to be floated down flat. So not just the grout lines, but you can also see all the dark spots, you know, how far over it affected the tile, because they actually kind of tapered down to the edge of the tile to the grout line. So it actually filled up quite a bit of void there that was not beforehand taken care of there. So it was a good thing that we did this, and to keep my trowel from falling down in the grout lines as I was mudding over that, I simply went catty-cornered of the tile. So I would run my trowel like this, catty-cornered, and that way it would run over without falling down in the grout lines. So here we go again, we wait. Well, after we had it all hard enough to actually get on it and scrape over it and get the rough stuff off, check it one more time. All this turned out nicely. Still had a little sag right there, so doggone it. I was hoping to be done with the mud, but hey, we got it all tore up and we'll come this far. We might as well just wait and get it right before we go any further. No sense in coming this far and then starting to install and it still not be right. So always take a little bit extra time and go ahead and just get it as best you can right there. At least to industry standards. Well, right there, still just a wee bit. And same spot, about right there too. It's maybe right about an eighth, I'm guessing. So we're gonna take care of it instead of leaving it. We're gonna take care of it instead of leaving it. Right there, and then that's pretty much the whole thing. See right there. And then move on down. Still about right there. That's not too awful bad, but right down here, you can see it's probably an eighth. And again, by doing the straight edge thing like this, you can see here where the straight edge touches. There, 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 there. So you know you don't need to come up any more over here. As a matter of fact, we need to take a little bit of this, put it more so right over there. All right, so we got all the high spots, low spots filled. You can't really tell where they are now. You can definitely see this one here, but there was actually another one. You can see a little bit right there. Right through here was a low spot anyway. And here is where we tore up that other tile. So I guess right there was a high spot that we tore out and fixed, but it's all pretty much ready to go. I'm going to go over the whole floor one more time with my hand and a scraper, make sure there's not no clumps or anything like that. And then we'll be ready to install. Yesterday before we left, after I got my final thickness and everything over here to make that right, I went ahead and mixed up one more batch of mud and then just went over everything one more time. You can see now it's done. It filled in a whole lot better going over it the second time than it did just with one time going over. So all of this through here has got 2 coats of floor patch on it. So even down there, I think has 3 coats on it where it drops into that next room. So everything now is nice, flat, and smooth. We are now ready. Again, after I scrape over it, I'll double check my door jambs again and make sure nothing's tight, nothing's pinching, since we built up a little bit with patch. And get her cleaned up and start our installation. This is a brand new blade, and when it starts to get too easy to slide, I keep flipping it. I want this blade to be so sharp that it picks up every little bitty anything higher than flat or smooth and shave it off. Any little bump or anything, this thing will just take, slice it right off. Watch this. Any little white spot that you see is where this scraper has shaved off just a weedy bitty bit to make it smooth. Okay, we got everything marked out. What I did, first thing I did, I found the center point of the broom right there, and then I seen how big of a piece I needed to start with so I could end up with the same size piece over here, balance the room. Then I pulled a measurement from that baseboard to the front of this cabinet. It's on an angle right there, so I've done that. You can't really see my mark now, it's covered up, but I've done that by putting a board right there, and I had something to measure from that baseboard to here. That way I could know how far it was here, and then I could take that measurement, come over 2 foot is what I did. So it should be right underneath of this row here is my chalk line. Right. See if you can see it, I don't know. Yep, there it is. So you see my chalk line there. And transferred this measurement from that corner to here, down there, and then all the way up there to corner, and popped me a line, made sure it was nice and straight. Got my planks on this, worked 2 rows back, and then I was able to place my planks on top here, scribe them, get them set. Now they're all solid up against the walls with my spacers. Now we can tap on, come on up here, getting ready to scribe out this top run. Right here we got overlaps, then we'll get it against the cabinet, put our spacers in there, everything will be nice and solid. We can tap, carry on running our floor this direction. All right, now we have everything set with spacers. Got it all cut and locked down with spacers. And I just wanted to point out that is the advantage of scribing. Your cuts are going to go exactly with whatever you're scribing to. So the cabinets, I'll show you what I did here. I made this to where it would be exactly a 1/4 inch expansion. I shaved the tongue, the little lip. So looky here. These have a little lip on the back. I shaved it off here because I didn't need that and that. That was going to cause it to be a little more than 3/8, because this is a 1/4 inch right here. And then this is about 1/8. So right there you're looking at about 3/8. And then you have the thickness of your line from your mark also. So look how thick that is. So you see there, if you take that line off your mark, that's another 1/8. I mean, if you take that line off your piece, that's another 1/8. So I actually, what I did, I took this tongue off the back, and watch this, I also shaved, looky here, about 1/8 inch off of this tongue right there. See what I did right there? Now, with this bend as thick as it is here, and then plus my pencil mark, whenever you take my mark off, that is exactly a 1/4 inch. So therefore I get myself exactly a 1/4 inch expansion, and I can drop my spacers in here and just push everything right up against the cabinet. Whenever it stops against the cabinet, it's going to be directly on my mark. I don't have any movement when I'm tapping my blocks, tapping my tiles back against and tapping stuff in position. It's not going to move because it's all nice and secure, no matter if there's a bow in the wall, a crook, or anything like that. If you just simply measure and say, okay, this is 8 inches from here to here, so just mark down 8 inches. Well, what if that goes in a 1/4 inch, a 1/16 of an inch? Then you put your spacer right there where it's not a true 1/4, and it's trying to move in and out. So That's the advantage of scribing. It just allows everything to stay nice and consistent. Takes an extra minute maybe to put it together, scribe it out, but it saves time throughout the rest of the install because you don't have to worry about it moving because everything is locked in position perfectly. All right, so we are calling it a day. I didn't check to see what time it was, but I know it's getting a little late because it's almost dark. But anyway, we got everything in here completely done minus the quarter round. We'll do the quarter round tomorrow. Refrigerator back, stove back, they can live nice tonight, and everything turned out wonderful. There's no bouncing of the floor. Everything's nice and flat, and there's no clapping sound on the floor, no hollow sound. Everything worked out perfect and proper. I guess you know that, probably since I throw such a big fit about that. But we've got our expansion everywhere, as it should be, 1/4 inch everywhere, if not a little more. Like some of it is some of it's a little more. That right there is just a touch more, about 3/8. That little piece right there is right at 3/8, so it's at least 1/4. But anyway, everything's turning out really nice. Real happy with the way everything's going. Tomorrow, I got those little dummy boards again right there just to protect my edge from people walking on it. I would hate to have to come back in the morning and replace that one. That would suck. Got this little hallway right here and this little office. Do this in the morning and slap some quarter round down and we will be outy bouty. Real happy. We got transitions to go everywhere too. We got a mess of those things right there. So I have to see exactly. I haven't even looked yet exactly what we got. And I'm actually wondering if they're going to be wide enough in here to cover what we got to do in here, because these, it was all cracked right here on the end where somebody shot a nail right by the edge, and it cracked. And look how far over the glue is. Them little bitty ones that I've got, I'm sure are not going to cover that. I may, now I just may make some, I don't know. These are 2-foot planks, so it would take 2 pieces per doorway to get across here the lengthway. We'll see what happens. I might custom make some. See how much time we got. But anyway, that is it. After that, I mean, look at that. That's far. That is far. Anyway, thank you guys once again for tuning in to the Daily Grind. Until tomorrow, FBSB's out.